Oh, man. Well, it was a strong finish, at least. Yay! Ta-da! So, we gave our patrons a pretty interesting poll this week.
We sure did.
We said the theme was NES games, and their choices were that. It was a pretty narrow fight. A lot of fans of both camps, a lot of Acclaim fans and LJN heads, as they call themselves. But in the end, Acclaim won out. And so that's what we're going to play. And tonight's stream is going to be our most ambitious one yet, which is to say it's going to go terribly, terribly wrong. We have a whopping 28 games to cover tonight.
No.
That's more than I think we even covered in our Virtual Boy episode. That's right, Acclaim published more games for the NES alone than the Virtual Boy had games from any publisher worldwide. So in the interest of time, we do have a lot of games to get through and just a couple hours to do it. I've given Alex a timer, and I've told him for the few games that I want to play at least a little bit in-depth, I'm going to have a time limit of 5 minutes. Once that reaches the 5-minute mark, he will cut me off. There was going to be a buzzer that sounded, but it was too hard. Let's travel back all the way to September of 1987. A small Delaware corporation decided it wanted to be first in the phone book, before Activision, before Atari, so it picked the name Acclaim. That was appropriate because its founders were ex-Activision, and they used that tactic when splitting off from Atari. So they were like, all right, we got to be before Atari, so Activision. And then this new company's like, before Activision, so Acclaim. Then years later, that brought the rise of A. Arthur Aardvark's game developer agency.
Is that why they're called AAA games, so they all appear first in the phone book?
That's exactly why. All right, September 87, an unassuming publisher launches here in the States. It's Acclaim. Here's their first game. I like this game. I actually had this as a kid. A few of these games I'm just going to flush right away. They're not worth playing. But this game, this is one of the good ones. Alex, start that timer.
All right.
We got some WorldRunner to play. Alright, so right away you'll notice this is from Square, the Final Fantasy people. This was one of their earlier games for the NES, or rather Famicom. Acclaim took up the rights here in the States, and they published it under the title 3D WorldRunner. I forget what the Japanese title was called. It was something like Jumping Adventure or something. Daisakusen was somewhere in the phrase. I know that much.
Dude who loves to jump. By Square. Oh man. Yeah, I love this game. I absolutely love this game.
It's super great. It's obviously Space Harrier inspired, but you're stuck to the land instead of just flying everywhere. So it gives it kind of a different flavor. Also an interesting look at early Square, like this is before Rad Racer, before Final Fantasy. And yet many of the same people were working on this. This was programmed by Nasir Gabelli, who later programmed the original Final Fantasy.
Nasir rules.
And the music is by none other than Nobuo Uematsu, the only game composer a lot of people know of. He's that famous.
It's really good, too.
If you know of any game composers, it's him and Tommy Tallarico. They're the most famous. So yeah, you got missiles. You can pick up a potion to get stronger. And otherwise you just run forward, shoot everything, and try not to die. A lot of the challenge involves jumping over these pits, and later levels your speed is locked, making it kind of a challenge. But despite being, like, you can see what its inspiration is really easily. This stands out on its own. It has its own identity, and it's just decently fun.
We are getting demands to stream in the Anaglyph 3D mode that this game has.
Alright, so...
Only one demand. So I don't know if that means...
This game and Rad Racer had 3D Anaglyph support, which you can enable by pushing select. It does that. It makes you die. This probably shows up like bullshit on the stream.
It does not even show up on the stream. Oh my god. It looks very aesthetic, though.
Yeah, it looks pretty aesthetic. I do remember trying this mode as a kid, and that was how I found out that 3D does not work for me. I am legally blind, so stereoscopics just plain don't work.
Yeah, Danny can't do that. It also means he gets less sick in VR, so I'm very jealous.
Oh yeah, it's a valuable skill. I get to play Job Simulator more.
Can't drive, but hey, you get to play games.
Yeah, exactly. Who needs to drive? I can visit the worlds of my imagination. Oh, invincibility. I had a lot of fun with this game as a kid.
This game rolls.
It's easily one of the best Acclaim games from the era. One of the best Acclaims, as they say.
No video game king, he is legally blind, unlike me, who is illegally blind.
Mm-hmm. You're blind without a license.
I am also visually impaired pretty badly, but in a different way than Danny, so, again, illegally blind.
Alright, and then we get to the boss, and this is where it pretty obviously lifts from Space Harrier. This is where they stop pretending. They're just like, yeah, you fly forward and fight a dragon, that's Space Harrier. But 3D WorldRunner, a great start. And what could have been the start of a really fruitful relationship between Acclaim and Square. The thing is, their next game, Rad Racer, Nintendo swept in. They were like, nah, we're gonna publish that. And Final Fantasy. And a couple other games. Sorry, Acclaim. So this was the only Square game published by Acclaim here in the States. So they had to turn to other publishers. You can reset the timer, I died. A solid 4 minutes in 3D WorldRunner. Great showing. So also in September of 1987 was a little game called Star Voyager.
That could be good.
Maybe? This was a 1986 Famicom game called Cosmogenesis. And Acclaim translated a little bit of text and released it in the States here as Star Voyager.
Hey, Danny, Spinner wants you to know that the cat was watching you play and absolutely loved the dragon you were fighting.
Oh,
just
good.
absolutely in love.
Forward-scrolling games are pretty intense for cats. They tend to like them.
Oh, they do. Our cat mostly likes anime, though.
Mm-hmm. And videos of other cats.
Yeah.
Alright, so what the hell is this?
What is this? Oh, should I be timing?
No, I'm gonna give up on this pretty quick.
This is interesting looking, though.
Yeah, so Star Voyager is a first-person space combat sim, kinda? It's more of it has light trading elements in that you have this map to go around. Like, see there, that's a map of the solar system. You go around getting stuff and also shooting enemies and other things. So you can set a course, and then once you decide where your heading is, you hold the B button. And you go into hyperspeed.
Oh, that's so cool.
Or rather, subspace, as they call it. Other than that, pretty simple. What this is, actually, it's a shameless clone of an Atari 2600 game called Star Raiders. Now, 2600 games usually are pretty basic, but this game had a ton of complexity. It had a subscreen map, among other things. It kept the first-person perspective. And really, for a 2600 game, it was impressive in the amount of stuff that you could do. And just the fact that you weren't, like, shooting things. Like you had sub-objectives. It was innovative in that regard, but that was several years before this. Then 86, ASCII just ripped it off for Japan, calling it Cosmogenesis. In case you can't tell, this game's very boring. The spaceflight genre once was pretty popular, but it's kind of fallen off in recent years. And this game won't win you over if you play it, like, and you're unprepared for what it is. Still, if you're not opposed to reading the manual and actually learning how to play games, this might be good. I don't know, what's your input?
My input is, this looks really neat, but it looks like a game that would be like, that would not be fun to stream, and that if you really got into it, it would be like, extremely boring.
Still, it fills a niche.
But it's interesting. I do like space trading games, I really do.
The only other notable thing about this game I can think of is that the Japanese version, Cosmogenesis, was actually fan-translated, without the fan-translator knowing that this US version existed. So unfortunately, he wasted a little bit of effort on this. It wasn't much, because there's so little text, but still, that just shows it goes to show how obscure this game is, because even the fan-translators didn't know about it. So also, in 1987, September, Acclaim's third launch game, maybe the best one, Winter Games.
Oh.
Notice how quickly they scrolled past that title screen. They didn't want you to see how crappy it looked.
Like, no. It's just look at these copyrights.
And like the other two games, this is an import from Japan. This one was developed by a studio called Atelier Double, who made a whole bunch of crappy games, and then later made good stuff like Umihara Kawase. But that was many years later.
Starting the timer just in case.
Yeah, why not? Just start a timer for everything.
Yeah, just to stop you.
Yeah.
Anything to stop Danny's power.
Anything to stop Danny. So this came to the Famicom Disk System in 1986. No one liked it. Mm-hmm. And then they decided to release it over here because Epyx's game series, as they called it, was pretty popular on the Commodore 64. Alex is saluting the screen. This does have the national anthems for all these countries represented, so that's a thing. Alright, hot dog aerials. Here we go. You ready to go hot dogging?
Yeah. Good job.
I
Good
got
hot
this.
dogs.
I got this. Don't worry. There, see? I did something. Come on. Hey.
Hey, that was something. Is that out of 10?
Yeah. And that's event number 1. There's only 4 events in this game. This is a very, very short and kind of short on content game as well. Alright, so this game replicates the famous Commodore 64 method of input, which is to say you have to push left and right rapidly to move. Other games like Track and Field, they made you push a button, which is, intuitive. This, it kind of really hurts to rock back and forth on the D-pad.
Oh, that looks painful.
I have to hold the controller in a weird way just to do this.
Oh, Danny, that's gonna hurt your fingers.
Yeah.
That sucks. I'm just... Sorry, Chad, I'm just looking at Danny's fingers now. Ah, poor dude. Shout out to Epyx and them giving everybody arthritis.
The thing is, this worked on the C64 because the way the joysticks were. They had a really wide range of travel, so you could just wiggle them. Not so much the NES D-pad. Oh god, how much more there is this? Please. Please end. There we go. Okay, thank god. And as I said, these games were popular in their original form. Stuff like California games, even, and summer games were also popular. But man, this conversion. Holy shit, this conversion. Alright, figure skating. Maybe the most well-known event in this game.
Okay.
Wish me luck.
Alright, Danny. Does this game have curling?
No.
This game is bull.
Oh, I fell down.
It's okay.
Oh! Oh.
Is this Yuri on Ice?
I think it is, yeah. That's where
Okay.
that's where they got the idea.
Yeah, they're all big Epyx fans.
See, look at that. I turned... Oh, look at that!
Hey! Okay, don't fall on your ass, whatever you do.
I can't stop. Oh, man! Alright, so that was a 10,800 degree turn. With a bonus pirouette.
Thank you to Battlehork for subscribing, resubbing to us. They resubbed for 5 months in a row.
Oh,
Thank
nice,
you.
thank you.
It's 5 times sub. Thank you.
The other thing is that these controls are not at all intuitive. You really need the manual for this. And that's also owing to its computer origins. So, with all this in mind, you might think, hey, maybe don't bring this to the NES. Maybe this isn't suitable. No one really thought of that. No one thought of that. Oh, man. Well, it was a strong finish, at least. Yay! Ta-da! Oh, come on, really? I mean, I did fall down a lot, but... Alright, next event, the bobsled. Can we do this? This is the 4th and final event. Like, that's it. Once you finish this, it goes back to the title screen, and you can do the events again to get better scores and better times. But that's literally it. This is a very, very tiny ROM file, and they did not think to include many events.
Alright, we're hitting 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
Oh, I better hurry then.
Yeah.
So the only gameplay I'm looking at here is in the upper right. That map on the left is functionally worthless. I guess you can look at it to see where the turns are. But who has the time when you're focusing on the sledding, the bobbing? Oh my god, I might do this.
Holy shit. You might do it with the 10 seconds you have left. 9, 8, 7, 6.
I did it!
Oh my god!
That's the first time I've ever done
3,
that.
2, 1,
With a
and
time
done.
of 53 seconds, I did it.
Congratulations, new game.
And that's it. Done. That's Winter Games. We're back at the title screen. I've experienced the entire game in 5 minutes. Moving on towards the end of September of 1987, we got a game called Tiger-Heli. Hey, we've seen this before.
We have.
We covered this during our Micronix stream, because
No!
this is made by Micronix. That's right, Acclaim was not below licensing games made by the infamous contract developer Micronix. I will play a few seconds of this, but if you want a more detailed opinion of it, check out our Micronix stream from a few weeks back. I think that should be archived on YouTube. But to briefly sum up Micronix, seemingly unskilled contract developer. They were rumored to be just a guy in his garage making games while in college.
Yeah, we, last stream when we went over Micronix, we ended up saying that one programmer was Micronix.
Yeah, his name is
Yeah,
Micronix.
oh yeah, they're talking about good old Mike and
Good
chat,
old Mike.
Yeah. Micronix.
Well, Mike, we've dealt with you enough, and I don't want to deal with you anymore. Let's move to the end of 1987, because we gotta keep on moving. Right at the end of 1987, Acclaim released Wizards and Warriors.
That's a
December
game.
31st, 87, according to GameFAQs, which, you know, who knows. I had this game as a kid. I played this a lot, and in fact, I like it. I know a lot of people talk shit on this game, and I can see why you hate it. But to me, this is a really, really good game, and I can say that without reservation. Like, there's these huge levels that you have to explore to get all these gems, and you have to get a certain number to unlock the door to the boss. And what that does is it encourages you to explore these levels and really see where stuff is. Like here you can duck into the trees, get more gems that way. Also a decent amount of sequence breaking in this game. I'm going to try and get the purple key early. I think it should be up here. There we go. A little bit of damage boosting. This is also developed by Rare, who, you know them.
Oh yeah.
The Blast Corps people.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
They did that one game for the N64 whose name I can't remember.
GoldenEye?
No, that wasn't them, obviously.
No.
And don't mention the Donkey Kong game. I did some deep research, and I found out that it's only a conspiracy that Rare made it. It was actually programmed by Funky Kong himself.
You're saying Donkey Kong's on the deep web? I kind of missed what you said. Anyway.
I said that Funky Kong made, Jet Suit Gemini, I think is what I'm thinking of.
That's not even the right name.
Good. Well, that joke was really worth it.
Yeah, it
Jet
was.
Force Gemini. Thank Electric Boogaloo knew my joke before I even did it. I love you. You need 100 gems.
Yeah.
I've only got 47. How are you gonna get by? Can you bribe him with, like, less gems?
No, he won't take it. He won't even listen to your arguments.
That's bullshit.
I'm gonna try and boost up to the top of the trees, but we may run out of time.
Yes, it was Mickey Speedway USA. That is my favorite Rare game on the Nintendo 64.
I fell down.
I'm sorry you fell down.
Alright, so what's everyone think about Wizards and Warriors? I know there's a wide range of opinions, but what this became was Acclaim's flagship game, because it was a license that they had. It wasn't just a port of something or a localization. The doors in this game are real shit. That's a thing you can talk about if you hate this game.
Chat likes this game. Well,
Oh, good.
not true. Spinner says game is bad. Fanboy Master says Wizards and Warrior is Legend of Kage with the Knight. Prove me wrong.
Oh, it totally is, because you do a lot of hopping in this game. And Legend of Kage, for that matter.
Let's see. And Looper, Cassidy, Cactus Bee all say they like it. They're
Yeah.
fans.
It's decent. Like, especially for 87. That's super early for something this sophisticated to come out.
Smeb says, game is both bad and I like it. And that's how I feel about this game, too. I know it's not great, but it's really charming.
Here's the thing that I really like about this game. You get infinite lives and infinite continues. You can't lose this game. You can just keep playing it until you win. And as a kid who was just getting used to video games, I really like that. You also get all these different items. Like this one is boots that let you kick and also force open chests. So that has kind of a strategic element there. And each item that you get replaces the old one, so you really have to consider which one will serve you the best in each level. Alright, I got like 1 minute to beat this level. Let's see if I can do it. You go to the bottom of this massive beehive in order to fight Mr. Skull, who's at the bottom. I'm pretty sure that's his actual name. Oh yeah, I could totally do this. It's Mr. Skull!
Alright.
I'm gonna kick him. Oh no, I died! I got one more life. I can do this. Me and my boots. Oh, come on, man. Just let me kick you. Let me kick you in the mouth.
You die.
I just wanted to kick a skull in the mouth. Is that so much to ask?
Yes. You can try again.
I'm absolutely gonna do that again.
Okay, you got 20 seconds.
Bam! Kicked right in the mouth.
Nice. Good job.
That's Wizards and Warriors. We're not done talking about the series just yet, because, as I said, it's Acclaim's thing. They don't have to license it or localize it. It's theirs to do with as they please. And what they pleased was sequels, which we'll see in just a little bit. But that does it for Wizards and Warriors. Highly, highly recommended, especially among Acclaim's early catalog. Like, it's kind of amazing, honestly, compared to these other games. We jump forward to May of 1988, and Acclaim gets into the dirty world of licenses. Soon enough, they figure if you get a popular license, people will want to buy it. As is the case with Rambo here, which is another localization of a Japanese game, this one published by, or rather originally developed by Pack-In Video. We also made the NES Die Hard game, and I think the Predator game as well. This is kind of a weird one. Anyone actually play this back in the day? Because I didn't.
Alright, Whooper says, Rambo's not bad, I will defend this game.
Okay.
Smep says they remember this game being really confusing, and Fanboy
Right.
Master says Pack-In Video always sounds like a fake company name.
It does. So at the beginning of the game, you get the choice whether you want to go on the mission or stay in prison. And you can say that. And he straight up breaks the fourth wall and say, look, the game doesn't start until you say yes.
That kind of rule.
That just tells you right off the bat what you're in for.
Also, Cassidy has a soft spot for this game. And I can,
It's a little bit ambitious. It's a little bit Zelda 2-like.
Yeah, that's actually what Cassidy said. I could see that. Alright, you got 5 minutes to free Rambo and get him over his PTSD.
Alright, let's do it. 5 minutes is more than enough. Here at the base, and we gotta talk to a couple of people before we get sent off on the first mission. What this is a side-scroller where you have a knife, and occasionally a gun, but mostly the knife. Alright, we have to take photographs. Don't engage the enemy. That's what Rambo's famous for, his photography skills.
For not engaging the enemy, ever.
Alright, we have to go to some place to get weapons. It has been a while since I played this game. Forget about your absurd hand-to-hand fighting.
Yeah, Shax, this is based on Rambo 3, not First Blood, so unfortunately, it's not gonna have any of the good stuff.
I'm pretty sure it's First Blood Part 2, actually.
Oh, okay, First Blood Part 2.
Alright, so where is this hangar? Here we go. Alright, we gotta go back to Troutman. And now it's evening. So yeah, you see some occasional details here, like differences between day and night, being able to jump on stuff. Gotta go to Troutman, gotta start the mission. Gotta fight Rambo's sworn enemies. Gotta get the hell out. Hey, watch your language, buddy.
This is a
NES game for kids. And finally, 3 minutes into the 5 minutes we're allotted for this game, we get to start actually playing.
Alright, you got 2 minutes to play the game.
So you got a knife, and you gotta fight butterflies and snakes, mostly.
I thought that was a bee.
Might be bees.
Again, you're Macaulay Culkin as a war vet, and this is My Girl once again.
Mm-hmm. Every game is secretly an adaptation of My Girl.
Any game with bees, man.
So if you were a kid expecting to see Rambo machine gun a bunch of dudes, sorry, he's knifing butterflies in the jungle. There was always that kind of disconnect between the original license and the NES games based on them. Both because of hardware limitations and because people like Pack-In Video had no idea to adapt the source material. Yeah, just put kids in the woods, make them stab butterflies for a while. They'll have fun. Kids are stupid. I guess you also get all these different weapons you can switch from. Oh, I can't use the boat.
But I love your boat.
We gotta find someone else. There's a lot of adventure game components to this where you have to do certain things to unlock other things, and so on. Among Pack-In Video games, it's not the worst, but man, it's just inexplicable more than anything. A lot of weird shit in this game. I'd offer more details, but this game has kind of been covered to death already.
Mm-hmm.
All the smartasses on the internet got to this before I did.
Yeah, there was a time period in the late 80s, early 90s where a lot of R-rated franchises and whatever were getting children's adaptations in cartoons and video games and things like that. There was a Rambo cartoon.
Mm-hmm. There was a RoboCop cartoon.
There was a Little Shop of Horrors cartoon.
Oh my god, it's a tiger.
And an Attack of the Killer Tomatoes cartoon. It's 5 minutes. You're done.
I'm done?
You're done.
I'm done?
You're done.
But...
Danny, you're done!
But I wanted to stab more butterflies.
You can't. You're done.
Please?
Listen.
Can I at least meet our contact man? I got a row of snakes following me. Come on. I'm having a hard life here. I have to get to one conversation that Rambo has. It'll be like 10 seconds. Here we go. This is our point of contact. You did not expect a woman? Would you like to know something? Where's the camp? What do you think about me?
Oh my god!
What? You look good. Thanks, that's all I needed to know.
Rambo just has to flirt.
Next, in December of 1988, it's the game that takes a minute to learn but a lifetime to master. It's Othello.
Oh yeah, you'll need 5 minutes for this.
Oh yeah, for sure. Alright, so this was originally an FDS game. I think this was made by HAL, so it has a little bit of craftsmanship to it, I guess you could say. But it's also very simple, and that's kind of all it is. It's just Othello. You can't put it there. Put it here. See, it's like Go, but stupider.
Annie!
Yeah, I win.
You won.
Othello! For the NES. There's really not much to say about that one, sorry to say. So also in December of 1988 was our old friend Airwolf.
Oh wait, we're in 88?
Yes. Moving along fast, keep up.
Sorry, I got distracted. Oh, we've been over Airwolf before.
And we've seen this one before, too. This is from our friends at Beam Software. From the land down under. Everyone's favorite Australian video game developer for NES. So yeah, 1988, you can see a theme here. Airwolf, Rambo, Acclaim suddenly decided, hey, licenses? That's a key to quick money right there. And that's kind of a theme we'll stick with for the rest of the show. Just keep that in mind. I just think it's interesting. At first, they were like a localizer, just a studio picking up known Japanese quantities and publishing them here in the States.
Yes, Video Game King. Beam Software are the people who made the Hobbit game. We actually uploaded our Beam Software overview, and it actually goes into that. I even added some nice graphics to it, so you should check it out.
Yeah, our Beam Software marathon from a while back is on YouTube now. Basically, capable studio who's capable of good things, but this is not one of those things. No. Really, in that last stream, we emphasized that bad games back then were a result of just low budgets, people inexperienced with the hardware, and just everyone trying their best, but ultimately coming up short. That's Airwolf, and those were the only 3 games that Acclaim released in 1988. Airwolf, Othello, and Rambo. So not a great year. I did it. Nicely handled there, Hawk. Thanks, Gramps.
Thank you, Grandpa.
We move into 1989. Man, we're moving fast. January of 1989, they go with the biggest license in the world, the WWF.
This is gonna suck. I can't wait. Oh my god!
And there is Hulk Hogan rendered in approximately 3 colors?
Hulk skin condition.
Here they're stealing the Neo Geo's catchphrase a few years before the Neo Geo was released.
Cassidy threw us 500 bits and said, to our retro pals, say your prayers, take your vitamins, you will never go wrong. What you gonna do? Hold on. What you gonna do when Wrestlemania runs wild on you? The answer is nothing.
Alright, so this game's got the $1 Million Man.
But your name is Ass Man.
I'm the Ass Man.
Danny only knows about one wrestler, and it is literally Mr.
Ass, an actual
himself,
wrestler.
Yes.
Also got Bam Bam Bigelow, the Honky Tonk Man, Macho Man Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, and the Hulkster himself. Star of the show. I guess we gotta pick him.
Yeah.
And our opponent will be the $1 Million Man. So at the title screen, it was actually playing a chiptune rendition of Real American, Hulk Hogan's theme. And I think in this match, if I pick the right guy, we'll be hearing an 8-bit version of Girls in Cars.
Oh yeah, Girls in Cars.
Tell us about Girls in Cars, Alex.
Okay, so there was WWF.
Look at his face! Look at Hulk Hogan's face! Okay, I'm sorry, go on.
This is Girls in Cars. They released an album with songs by the wrestlers. One of them was Girls in Cars, and it has a music video that is pretty exceptional.
They all have music videos. I recommend looking up the music video for Girls in Cars.
It's really good.
So one button punches, and the other button kicks, and you can occasionally do wrestling moves, but this is a pretty early game, and they hadn't really considered the mechanics of wrestling.
Thank you, Ides of Merch. Yes, the album's called Pile Driver.
Oh, right, yeah. I really like this track, I don't know why. Maybe it's the music video.
It's actually not a bad song. The lyrics are terrible, but I mean, it's pretty generic as songs go, lyrically.
So this may surprise you if you didn't see the opening screen, but this is by Rare, the same people who did Wizards and Warriors we saw just a few minutes ago. Look at that face! That's the face that Rare made. Obviously this was made on a much tighter time frame at a much lower budget. Or they just didn't really care much for the license, or caring much about a good video game. Look at this. What is... Alright, Alex was looking away, but everyone else who was watching the stream saw a $1 Million Man just kind of twirling around in circles for a couple seconds, which was pretty good. Alright, and each wrestler has their own power icon that you can collect when it goes into the ring. $1 Million Man's is a $sign. Hulk Hogan's is a gold cross.
Because he's a good Christian boy.
Yeah, because he's all about saying your prayers.
Yeah.
And Ass Man Hulk Hogan has won. He has beaten $1 Million Man.
Beautiful.
And we go back to the title screen, because that's all there is to the game. It's also a 2-player mode and a tournament, I guess, for up to 6 players, if you really wanted to do that. But other than that, it's a series of straightforward one-on-one matches, and you don't even get to keep your name after going back to the title screen. It just resets everything. Yeah, the earliest WWF game on NES, humble beginnings, and unfortunately the only Wrestlemania game published by Acclaim. They didn't do any more WWF games for NES, though they later came back on Super Nintendo. Still, this game has the soundtrack.
It does.
And that's really all you need. So that was January '89. It wasn't until December of '89 that Acclaim released their next game, Ironsword, Wizards and Warriors 2. Now, I talked earlier about how Wizards and Warriors was their thing, their original creation, their original IP, as it were. So they got right on that sequel, and they got Acclaim to make. Rare to make it. Apparently taking away from the time they needed to develop Wrestlemania, but whatever. This one's a lot more complicated. It's got more shops, a lot of things to collect. The gems mechanic is gone, and instead you just have to find an item of power hidden in each level.
This game was by the Pickford brothers.
Well, they know what they're doing.
Also, yes, this is the one with Fabio on the cover.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, the cover of this game, they put Fabio on it. Like,
well,
look at this guy. He wears a suit of armor in the original game and this game. He has never taken the armor off.
They wanted you to think that, it had some barbarians in it.
I guess so.
Unfortunately, there are no barbarians, I don't think.
Maybe they should have put a barbarian in it. Like, take this dude's shirt off. There we go.
Ooh, an egg.
I found the golden egg.
You just want more hunks in video games, admit it.
I just want more eggs. So I also own this game, and I like this one, but it does give you limited continues, and it's way, way harder than the original game. So I never really finished it.
I like this bird.
This bird has the most animation of anything
Oh
in
my
this game.
god, that
Look
bird
at
is
that.
so animated!
That bird gets an entire graphics bank.
Oh my god. Look at them!
So you go to the clouds, you gotta fight the elementals, and it's really in the same vein as the original, just much more difficult and more complex, and that's kind of why I don't like it as much as the original. The original had a balance of simplicity and also just not being impossible. While this one, they kind of went overboard. Like here, the controls are different. Like each time you bounce, first you do a low bounce and then a high bounce. Each level introduces all kinds of different control gimmicks that just serve to confuse you. Still, this game was pretty popular. Anyone else have this as a kid? Did you beat it? You probably didn't.
I think some folks in chat had this as a child. I know people seem to enjoy this game.
Oh, I didn't get the key! I'm not gonna be able to get the spell now. Alright. Show where's a key. Yeah, that's the other thing. Once you got keys in the original game, you could use them multiple times, since they were just matched to differently colored chests. This game, keys are expendable, and you have to keep buying them or finding them.
Let's see, Yaddle had this game, Medley Fled, watched their cousin play this game a whole bunch, and Codeman rented this game. I actually played this. I didn't play this game as a child, but I did play it as an adult. And I played it. It was one of those things where I was going through a ROM list, and I'm like, I don't know about this, and I just moved on.
This would be a good rental, come to think of it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not so much to buy, but the original Wizards and Warriors really impressed me. As a kid who only had like 3 NES games.
Diabetine rented this with their cousin.
Man, it's just a game to rent with your cousins, I guess.
It actually, yes. People talking about other people having the game, cousins having the game. It's definitely a real, my cousin has this game.
Mm-hmm. My cousin had Renegade for the NES. I thought it was cool when I played it.
Oh, that is cool.
That's my cousin's story. Alright, will I be able to beat this level in the time limit? First I have to get a spell that can defeat the boss, and then I gotta kill the boss. Oh, this is gonna come right down to the wire.
Alright, you got 40 seconds left.
Oh my god, can we do it? Do you believe in miracles? Can I beat the first level of Ironsword? The thing is, I've put a lot of time into this game, and that last segment right back there where I had to jump over those giant cloud things is way harder than I made it look. That's the kind of thing you have to do over and over before you finally get used to it. It's just one of those games where things just feel off a little bit. I guess it was for the experts, for the people who beat the original Wizards and Warriors. Alright, boss time.
All
Can we
right.
do this?
5 minutes.
Damn it! No, I'm cheating.
It's the second time you cheated today.
Kill this blustery fuck. There. Dead.
Alright.
I win the game. Also, that same month, was Cybernoid, the fighting machine.
That sounds cool, but it can't be cool.
Now, I hope none of you played this game, but if you did, let us know.
I have never heard of this.
Yeah, this is maybe one of Acclaim's more obscure games, though I do remember it got magazine coverage at the time.
Rev Ragu hates this game.
This is kind of a shit game, yeah. See if you can determine this game's origin just by looking at it. Like, where do you think it came from?
Commodore? Spectrum! The Specky. This
Alex
is totally
knows.
a Specky game.
Alex knows.
Oh my
This
God.
is totally a ZX Spectrum thing. Yeah, notice the flip screen approach, the fact that everything takes place on a single screen, the fact that you die very quickly and you have limited lives and no continues. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, let's see. Folks have definitely played this game. Cass
I'm so sorry.
Played it,
It looks like it should be
Yeah.
cool. It's got some decently executed action. It's got all these different power-ups. But in the end, it's just one of those blatantly unfair ZX Spectrum games just brought to NES.
That's actually pretty interesting, BMF. This game has leftover rights to this C64 SID chip still in it.
Oh my god, so it's not even done well. Alright, so I got through that area by using one of my limited Genocide items. You hit select and the word Genocide appears at the top of the screen.
Can't say I'm a fan of that.
Me either. Oh my god. But yeah, just everything kills you. Everything. And then once you run out of lives, that's it. Good luck, asshole. You're never gonna beat this game. There are a bunch of different sub-weapons in this game that I didn't show off. Maybe it's possible to get good at this, and that's when it becomes fun. I'm gonna say that that's not true. Anyone likes this, or who says they like it, is a liar. That's what I'm saying. This game blows. But Acclaim was just trying to source multiple things, right? They were trying to localize, bring in new games, as well as, tap into the European market, who at that point had existed for many years. And I guess they went, what's a popular ZX Spectrum game? Cybernoid? Sure, license it. Get that shit. Can't be too expensive. And that's why a lot of American children were very sad in 1989. Because of Cybernoid.
Thanks, Acclaim. Thanks, Cybernoid.
Oh, I'm doing better this time.
Yeah,
I might get past this room.
You're not gonna make it past.
Like, Jet Set Willy, right? Why not Jet Set Willy?
Why not Jetpack?
Why not Jetpack? Why not anything that Rare did back then? Instead of this. I'm getting pretty far this
You
time.
are, actually.
But notice how often the game's already repeating the screen stuff in this game. We've encountered these enemies like 3 times already.
Rev Ragu says, I hate all noids, especially cybernoids.
This is annoyed. Oh, there we go. I needed to use my bouncers. Ah, the bouncer. Now, there's a good game.
No, it's not. Maybe it is. I haven't played it. Are you
Yeah,
really
you don't
just
know.
a bouncer at a bar? Because that's what I imagined it is.
I'm pretty sure that's all it is, yeah.
That fucking rules.
Alright, well, 2 game overs in just 3.5 minutes. That's good value. I don't even know what that means.
Getting judged here by an anime babe. For shame.
Alright, December of '89, Acclaim had one last game to unleash upon the public. And it was freaking Knight Rider.
Oh, God.
This follows up on Airwolf in the 80s TV shows brought to the NES genre. And once again, this is designed by Pack-In Video, so we have some idea of what to expect here. This was also released in Japan first, before they brought it over here. That's Devin. Hi, Devin.
Hi, Devin.
Good afternoon, Devin. Michael. Is this just these 2 guys saying their own names over and over? Devin, I've still got 3 days of vacation.
Oh, my God.
Michael.
Please listen to me.
Devin. Michael. Michael's already fallen asleep.
I'm falling asleep. Oh my god.
Not the
Pack-in video bomb!
Is that what it is?
Well, there's one other definition for it, and I'm assuming it's not that one. I'd hope not. The pack-in video bomb.
Mainly, I just like the idea that Michael repeated what he said, Metal Gear Solid style. The PIV bomb. Oh, I'm pretty sure Dr. Sparkle said that. Disregard that. We're big fans of content, though. Don't want to steal your shit, Dr. Sparkle. Alright, we're finally done talking.
Are we done? Can we... Oh my god, Bon!
First, Bonnie's got to tell us about the PIV bomb. That's enormous destructive power. I didn't think that it could stand for pack-in video, but I guess that's what they were going for.
Did pack-in video make this?
Yeah.
Oh! Oh my lord.
And here's what this is. This is Knight Rider.
Man.
Yeah. You can push the B button to jump. That's kind of cool. It's in first person. That's different. But this is a game where you drive forward and you shoot the red cars and you don't shoot the blue cars. If you shoot the blue cars, you lose time.
Did Kid have a gun in the original Knight Rider show? I've watched some of it, but not much.
I actually don't know. It's been a while since I've seen Knight Rider.
Kid could do that, yeah. Kid could definitely.
Kid can jump, yeah. So they got that much at least. But I guess he has a couple of machine guns mounted to his hood.
Hello, Michael and Kit.
Hi, Devin. Good afternoon. Oh, it's afternoon now. It's not morning.
Good afternoon, Devin.
Well, this goes on for a while. Michael and Devin exchange pleasantries and talk about PIV, and that's basically all there is to the game. I know I didn't show off much of the gameplay there, but there wasn't much to show. That's all you do over the course of many, many levels. You drive forward and you shoot. In 88, standards weren't very high. You could get away with that kind of thing. Oh wait, it was 89. You said you have 89 there, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so yeah, we're finishing up 89, not 88. Why not switch to 1990 with one more game? Because in 1990, what Acclaim had in store, their very first game entering the 90s, was freaking Double Dragon 2. So,
Revenge.
So yeah, all over the place. Double Dragon, a really popular arcade game. The NES original Double Dragon was also popular despite being only one player and having some limitations.
Okay, 19XX, violence in the streets, etc., etc.
But this game, this is another story. This is an actual good game, for one thing. It's actually good enough that I think it was actually on the NES Classic, which was released a couple of years ago.
Wow.
This gives you a bunch of new moves, it upgrades the graphics, and it actually has two-player. And I like it. It's actually good. It gives you that uppercut after you land. And it lets you... Oh yeah, here's the move I like. So here's a secret tactic, a secret tip and tactic from your friends at GamePro. You hold auto fire on the A and B buttons. That's it. You just set A and B to auto fire, and you hold them down, and you hold left or right, and you do this. This move is normally only something you can do upon wake up after landing from a jump, but it's something like 2 or 3 times more powerful than any other move you have, so if you keep doing it, you'll kill everything really quickly. But I think this puts a nice cap on Acclaim's lineup to date. What are some trends we've seen so far, Alex? We've seen licensed stuff, we've seen localizations of games.
Mm-hmm. We've seen,
And we saw Acclaim try and move into its own territory with Wizards and Warriors, having its own sub-license and game to its own credit.
So who did this game?
This was by Technos.
So it was actually by Technos.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, the same company who made the original arcade game, and who would also make NES stuff like River City Ransom around the same time.
Yeah, there are bits and garbage bits that are appearing on the bottom of the screen, but overscan on TVs at the time would have covered that up.
Oh no!
RIP!
Ripperino, Billy Lee. can't believe I just said Ripperino.
Oh, Danny, that's
edit
something
that out
I would say.
Yeah, edit that out of the archive. Or edit it so it's you saying it instead of me.
Well, my voice is getting pretty deep. I guess I could start pretending I'm you soon enough.
Ripperino.
Ripperino. Hold on, let me try to do my Danny voice here. Ripperino. There we go. I think that's pretty good.
That's dead on. That's 100% me
just
right
like
there.
Danny.
God, I love that move. You can just beat this game so quickly just by using that one move. But overall, what we've seen is just an uneven output from Acclaim. Like, they license utter shit. Then again, Cybernoid probably didn't take much to license. I'm thinking like a couple bucks and a fish and chips meal.
I was gonna say a couple bucks, fish and chips, and like, I don't know, maybe a couple packets of crisps.
Yeah, crisps.
Maybe we did like a snack exchange with some American snacks, and they were just so excited about Oreos.
Ooh, maybe, yeah. Acclaim just gave him a bunch of Kit Kats.
They have Kit Kats in the UK. I don't know if they have Oreos, though. I know Oreos are actually hard to find sometimes overseas. Sucks because Oreos are delicious. Everybody deserves Oreos.
I agree.
Well, thank you for coming to my meeting here about Oreos.
Let's promote the Oreo.
Bisco, pay me.
Oh, man. Well, like the other games we're playing tonight, it's been a while since I've played this, but I read it when it was new, and I was not disappointed. This is a good-ass game. As far as beat-em-ups go on the NES, you can't get much better than this. And the thing is, Acclaim wasn't done with Double Dragon. They'd have one more game on the NES in that series in the next couple of years. But we'll have to wait till the second half of the show to show that off.
Yeah, Ripperino.
Ripperino to that. So what we've seen is Acclaim is capable of making good games. They're capable of making the good licenses and having good business acumen with regard to actually releasing decent stuff. But they also showed that they're willing to just go for the cheap license stuff. Like, if it exists and it's based on a license, hey, good enough. Pay the license fee and release it. So in our second half of the show, we'll see whether Acclaim kept releasing good games or if they turned to the dark side and started releasing licensed trash. I wonder what happened.
Alright, we're hitting 5 in 4, 3, 2, 1. Oop.
And that's 5 minutes with Double Dragon 2.
Nice.
I'd say this and the original Wizards and Warriors were the two best games we played tonight.
Grasp!
Also, Grasp. Grasp rules all, never mind.
It's all stupid game, I don't know.
The chopper escaped in the neon-filled night. That's very
that's
evocative.
Cool. Alright.
Yeah. So, Acclaim is a beast of two different things. I don't even know what kind of expression I was going for there. A beast of two different things. Good things and bad things.
Yes, that's...
Save me, Alex. Grapes. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah,
Alright, so we're on schedule. We've got a whole lot more games to cover in the second half, but yeah, that's a decent look at Acclaim in 1987, 88, and 89. Where they go from here is a pretty interesting place.